Woohoo! We're live, Sandy.
Hey, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you as well. Although it's a little early for me to celebrate. It's 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, for us it's coming up to 4:30 in the evening. Here it's getting dark, so I think everyone's getting ready for celebrations.
Yes, yes. Good. Okay, so how is it usually celebrated in your neighborhood? You were telling me a little bit about it earlier, but what do you usually do in your neighborhood?
Yeah,
On
it's really different here to the UK. In the UK, you just knock on people's doors. Here it's a little bit different. You leave a candle. So usually someone will say, "Oh, we're going to celebrate Halloween on this date," and then they'll say, "If you want to take part, have a lit candle outside your doorstep, and then we know we can knock on your door. If there is no candle, we know that you're not taking part, which is absolutely fine."
Wow. So what if the candle blows out? This bothers me. If the candle is there but not lit, is that still okay?
I think, I mean, in my street, there are some amazing people that have different projections going on outside their house and stuff. So I think you get to know which house is a house of horrors and which one isn't.
Oh, yes, good. Well, that's good. That's really interesting. That's welcoming also. So then you don't surprise anyone or waste any time going to a house where no one is, like my household, where we've turned off all the lights and gone to the other side of the house.
Should you be publicly telling everyone?
Yes. I don't think our one listener at this time will come to my house. They won't miss out on any candy. Oh, how exciting. Yeah, we have no such, at least in Texas, we have no such tradition of welcoming people. Usually if the porch is on, then someone's home and you can go up to the door, but you just knock. There's no signaling. And then some people go all out, of course, for decorations and have music playing and all kinds of scary stuff.
Oh, nice. So, I mean, I've always seen the movies in the US where people are so overdressed and amazing stuff and lots of candy and
Yes.
is it really like that?
That's really the way it is. And you'll have adults get all dressed up and then walk their little children to around, just because they want to dress up, but the kids actually, the little one, then they send, scoot the little ones off and the little ones go up to the door and knock. And then if you really want to get into it, then you dress up as you hand out the candy, and that's a more bang for your buck.
So did you used to do all of this?
So did I used to do that?
Or do you
Yes. Oh, yes. My mother would dress my sister and I up in themed costumes. And one year she made, my sister was much taller than I. She's 4 years older, but she was the Jolly Green Giant and I was a little Niblet. So she made a corn on the cob costume for me. So it was like a green jacket with yellow front piece. And then I wore some weird, funny thing with my hair. But my sister was kind of I think it used to be a Peter Pan costume, but my mom turned it into a Jolly Green Giant. So, and for those that don't know, that's a brand of vegetables, canned vegetables. So that's what we were one year.
I think so. We would say sweet corn here.
Yeah,
we'd say sweet corn, and I think in Swedish it's maize. I'm probably not saying it with a Swedish accent.
Oh yeah, No, that's the what you might call the traditional in Indian word, for corn is maize. That's what
Yeah.
the pilgrims, what the Indians fed the pilgrims that first year. But it was wild. Of course, it was different than what we see now as a
Yeah.
commercialized version. But
Yeah.
yes, maize, very interesting,
I
very
remember
cool.
giant. Yes.
Yes, she did look like a giant because she always towered over me and my friends.
Yeah.
But since she was a little older, she was the one who had to cart us around, and then the neighborhood, and then my mom and dad would sit in lawn chairs in the driveway, and they would have an evening cocktail and hand out the candy to the kids that came around. And because we lived in Los Angeles, so it was always mild and temperate, and the weather was great, and they would just visit, because they were close to the next driveway, and they would have a social time with the grown-ups in the neighborhood as all the kids walked around with their pillowcases. In those days, we used pillowcases.
Oh, wow.
So that was a big thing. And then I remember Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith always would make homemade donuts. So
Mm.
we, one year, we decided we were going to trick Mrs. Smith and go to her house twice. So we went the first time and we got homemade donuts, and they were so good, still warm and sugary and all deliciousness. And then we went home and we took off our costumes and we went back later, like she would never recognize us. We just lived down the street. She gave us a hard time, but she gave us the donuts anyway. So,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So is there always that one extra haunted house? Do you?
Yes, yes. The one you're scared, you were truly scared. You knew you were going to die if you go up there. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 There was
Wow.
a do you have any memorable stories?
No, but I mean, I think it was. I remember that when we were kids, we used to walk to school. It was quite a long distance, used to take us about half an hour to walk to school. And en route, there used to be this house that wasn't elegant, but it was still had its four walls. And we always
Hmm.
used to say, the woman that lives there is not nice. And I think once we did see her, we screamed and we ran.
Oh
She was
no.
awful, and I think we were just awful kids. Looking back at it now.
Yeah. Yeah, she probably just saw kids going to school every day and didn't even realize until they screamed and ran off that there was something. She probably thought something was wrong with you all.
Probably. Who are these horrible kids going past my house every day making a racket?
Exactly.
Oh,
Oh, well,
we were
okay,
supposed to
so
have a special guest today, weren't we?
yes, we were, and that's Emmy Lilou, and she is actually experiencing a kind of a scary situation, and we were going to have her talk about things that she's dealt with as an administrator in her school that were kind of scary situations. But she is actually Belgium is having a second run at COVID-19, so unfortunately, she is home, and all of her students, the whole country's in a lockdown, right? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. What a nightmare. I mean that whole situation, it's so scary. And I think I feel for all those people that are now living this again.
Right, right. Because it's not just going to be for a day.
No.
It's going to be for a while. Although they do have better skills now, perhaps, but still not prepared. You're not, because they were fully open, weren't they, before today?
No, I think the country went into a lockdown in about March for about 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Hmm.
Um, and then, and now this is the second time.
But during the school year, like last week, they were fully operated. I wonder if they had any inkling this was coming. I wonder.
I think they did.
Mm.
Because the numbers kept rising. The numbers are not going down. And I think when we spoke to Emmy, she was saying that teachers are sick, students are sick. It's not looking good.
So yeah, I wonder, there are some places, some states in the U.S. that are having spikes again. I wonder what we can do to prepare for that so that it isn't as scary. If we do have to go take that step again, what do you recommend? Double planning from here on out, or how do you plan for two things? So you're doing two things at one time, right? Are you still doing
a teacher? Yeah. So I'm doing both online teaching and classroom teaching at the same time. I think, when you look at the numbers, it's the younger generation that are catching it more than the older generation has first. I think the predictions came out, the results came out. I think the younger generation should get a message saying, clean your hands, wear a mask, don't touch things if they don't need to be touched, don't go out if you don't need to go out. That way you're protecting not just yourself, but others. At the moment, it seems like they're protecting themselves, but they're not thinking about others. And that's all we get the message out, is protect others. Yes, you're young. Yes, you're fit. But people around you,
Yeah. That's true. That's exactly true. Yeah. A good lesson to think about others just all the time.
Yeah.
I think that'll be good.
But otherwise, I don't know. I saw in the news today, England as well. They are possibly going to go to a national lockdown, but keep schools, colleges, and universities open.
How does that happen?
The numbers are, they just won't stop going up. They just keep rising. But then it's mostly university students that are having the COVID.
Yeah. So those are you'd think that's, I don't know. You can't require, you can require university students to stay home, but they probably won't. I think. Well, and we also have our universities were really concerned with. I know it sounds so trivial, but the sports, because so many people watch university sports, that they were, that was a big controversy, whether or not to have football, or whether or not to have swimming, or basketball, or some of the other sports that are collegiate level. And it's the whole college experience gets you to wondering about, but the UK, have they ever really locked down?
I think they had about 4 weeks where they closed a lot of businesses and told everyone to work online. Schools were shut. So yeah, possibly. But we'll see what happens. And I think I was talking to JD Pirtle yesterday. And I think the difference where I see in England, Italy, and Sweden is, in Sweden, all schools were opened secondary. Students may not have devices, so they make sure that work is either emailed to parents and students, because they'll all have email addresses, or they'll be posted. So there was always that.
Mm-hmm.
High school students all have a one-to-one device here. So even if they were at home, we know they could work online. The unfortunate thing about England and Italy was they don't provide those one-to-one devices. And so when kids were at home, in Italy, they were working on their telephones. Or the teachers were not ready for the online teaching. In England, you had teachers were ready, but then all of a sudden the kids had to do chores for the parents. They, it was just, because I think in England there's a society where you can differentiate between the poor and the rich. There's a footballer, I've forgotten his name. How bad is that? He is an advocate or trying to bring out free meals for children during the holidays. And he was trying to do this during the quarantine period or when the lockdown happened. It's like some kids can't get food.
Right.
What are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, we have in our public school system in Texas, and I'm pretty sure it's most everywhere. We actually have free meals for especially during summer, where the whole family can come in and get a meal into the local school, and we have free lunch programs during the year where students can get for sure breakfast. And then lunch. You used to have to qualify it by making a certain amount, a lower level of income, but not so much anymore. When you have a school district with above a certain percentage, it's usually 70, 75 free and reduced lunch. Then pretty much everyone. They're not going to deny them food, but that was the big worry when we had to lock down the schools. And so I think I know they figured out some way to still distribute food because the food service workers were still working. But at least it's something,
Well, I was watching a program called Sarah Cooper, and she brought out everything that's been going wrong in this year. And I'm like, God, this whole year has been scary. It's been a nightmare. And
yeah.
How do you feel?
Well, I mean, hurricanes and tornadoes and fires and natural disasters, earthquakes in places where we've never had earthquakes before. And it has been a scary year for sure. And one of the most divisive and controversial elections that we've had in the U.S. is going on, raging as well, and that will be the start of the decision is the 3rd, but then all the counting of ballots and things we don't know. There's so many we don't knows this year. I think for people like me who like things laid out and likes constant assurances, it's difficult. That's the hard part. Is there's so many things we don't know. This is the first time we've had a pandemic all over, everywhere you look. First time, we've had so many things. So hopefully we're learning from them. And I think that's what one positive is, that we learn from this experience and then don't do the bad stuff next time.
Wow. Yep. So we've got now 2 months to go.
For
2021.
Yes. 2 months. And still lots of surges and spikes in COVID-19 and school year's finishing up, I hope, for most of us. Seasons changing, so we can maybe you have better health, um, health. Or what word am I looking for? Better, just taking care of ourselves better, I think.
What do you
Hope
think
so.
we could give our listeners advice about? Because I mean, a lot of them probably suffer from anxiety, depression.
Mhm.
Then there's a mental illness, and we're talking about this whole year how it has just brought
Yeah.
people down. What kind of advice can we give them?
I think all I can really say is what has helped me, and that is looking around at things I can control, kind of making a list, things I cannot control and things I can control, and withdrawing myself from worrying about things I can't control. You know, I can control how I treat myself, and if I want to take a few minutes to meditate, to just love on my family and show my appreciation to them, that is something I can do, and that will help all of us. But worrying about things that are going on in cities that are not my own, or taking action on things that I can reach out to people in control. So I guess for me, focus on things I can control, and then don't let the weight of the world weigh me down, because I can't fix it for everyone, but I can just be my best self.
That is
What do
best.
you think?
I think that's perfectly said. We take care of ourselves and those around us, and then I think that helps. I think we've
I think
got
so.
virtual friends.
Yes.
We can virtually meet everyone. In fact, I found that I've met more of my friends during this year who I haven't spoken to for years, have come closer. And those who I used to keep in touch with, they're around, but not so much. And I think that has really pumped me up and saying, yes, I know I have friends across the world. And so I think that really helps.
I think you're right. I think you're exactly right. And you just kind of keep keep the ones close to you, so build each other up, keep the checking up on each other, and we will, and try to have a positive attitude, like we will get through this,
Mm.
and we will be better for it on the other side.
Mm. So, Karen, so what are your plans this evening? Are you going to be shut in the back?
I if I run out to the store really quickly, I could get a little pile of candy, but I saw someone had created a catapult, and I thought that was fabulous, where they put the candy in and then they shoot it out to the
No.
people at the So I don't know if I could rig one of those very quickly, but I think that's the best idea I've seen yet, of keeping social distancing, yet allowing people to distribute candy and gather, their tricks and treats. I wonder if once you get a sack full of candy, if you need to let it sit for 2 weeks before you can open it. Spray it all down. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Individually wrapped.
Yeah.
How long does the virus live on paper?
72 hours, I think, wasn't it?
Okay, so 2 weeks might be a little overkill.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I had little ones, I would make them wait 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, my house, no way will things like that last for 2 weeks. 2 hours, maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh.
You could maybe have gloves and scissors and open it all and just dump it in a bowl, and then just work on it, mishmash.
Love the catapult idea. Well, yeah, you guys have, inventors. Oh, it's amazing.
Yes,
So,
I'm excited.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you have any classroom horror stories?
I just know I used to have nightmares that I would be already in class and no students showed up. No one was there. I was at school. I was the only one there. And it was like I had the wrong day or something, or the
Oh,
wrong school, just the wrong atmosphere because no students showed up. That was my biggest fear when I was in the classroom.
oh.
Mm,
Okay.
that
I'm
was
going to share something with you
okay.
that it's actually quite funny. I had two incidents that was horrible. So
Oh,
I was in a science class teaching about the universe, the galaxy. So when I speak to the younger kids, especially when English isn't the first language, I I was talking about the planets, and one of the planets was Uranus. But I was saying Uranus.
yes.
Kids, and I had another teacher in the class. They were laughing like, "What did I say wrong? I'm saying it slowly so you understand." And the kids can get it in their heads. And then
Oh
after
no.
I was told, yeah, Uranus doesn't sound
Yeah.
always funny, but to
Yeah,
kids,
you can't really win. You know what the other option is Uranus. There you go.
yeah.
Another bodily function.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm not teaching the universe again. That was
Yes.
a self project. Go away, learn the names of the planets, and we talk about them.
Yes. Call it Planet U.
Yeah. And then there's the British and the American English.
Oh, there's no difference there.
Oh God, yes, because once I was in a class and a student said to me, "Oh, Miss, I love your pants," and I was like, "What's he talking about?" Like, because pants for us are underwear.
Oh no, I did not know that.
And the
Oh my
American,
goodness.
oh my God, I think I must have lost color in my skin.
Oh my gosh.
Because everyone's like, "Are you okay? Did we say anything that was bad?" And I was like, "Nope."
So were these were it was this in Italy
No,
or where
this was here in Sweden.
in
This is
Sweden? Oh,
yeah,
oh my gosh. How embarrassing.
yeah.
Like I would be looking around. Can you see? Can you see?
I know. I
Oh
was like,
dear. Oh dear. That's hysterical.
otherwise, no. Otherwise, it's been fun. I think any scary moment, like you say, it's just fears, and I think we just get over them and carry on. We have some fun moments.
Yes. Yes. Well, when I was a reading teacher, there was a book series that called Captain Underpants that was very popular. I had never read it, and I judged a book by its color, and I thought, well, you don't need to be reading that. I was teaching. Well, they were fifth graders, fourth graders, I don't know, but I gave them just such a talking to about how they didn't need to be learning about underpants and all kinds of stuff. And then I realized later that it was actually kind of a cute story, and that I had judged them and gotten on their case for reading silly little stories about underpants, and how could anything be good about that? But whoopsie, that's when I kind of had to apologize later on to the students.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The other thing is just keep up with the world.
Yes. Yes, it was better in middle school where I could ask them about what's trendy and what's cool to say and things like that.
Mm.
My one more. My sister had a hat. It was really a nice looking hat, and somebody said, "Hey, you have a trick. That's a cool. I really like your trick hat, Miss." And she thought, "Trick hat? It doesn't do any tricks." And but at the time, that was a really trendy way to say, cool, awesome, nice looking, appropriate, whatever. But it was trick, and she just didn't get it. And so she told me that story, I've asked my middle schoolers to keep me apprised when something new comes out. I want to know.
Definitely. They speak a completely different language now. All
Yes.
acronyms, all
Oh,
memes.
yes. LOL. And the first time I heard someone say LOL out loud, I just burst out laughing. I thought that was just so funny because it just showed me that they thought about texting as a language, and that it was part of their language, and it was amazing.
Yeah. That's great.
Well, I think that I have really enjoyed this conversation with you about scary moments, and I'm sure all our happy thoughts and prayers are with Miss Emmy in the whole of Belgium and any other countries that have to go back into lockdown. So yeah, wow, yeah,
Yeah,
that is
same
scary.
here. Yeah, thinking about everyone. But we are
Hmm.
all in this together. We're with you.
Hmm.
Karen and I, we're boosting your positivity.
Yes,
Doing that.
yeah. Hopefully there's a chuckle or two in here. And so next time is going to be chat with Sandy and Karen next Saturday, 9:30-ish, around that time.
Yep.
Do we have a topic? We don't have a topic
Oh,
yet.
keep them a surprise.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yes. Let's build up that surprise topic. Oh, love you, girl. And remember, chat with at chat WSK1. That's our Twitter handle. So we
Yep.
look forward to chatting with you next week.